We're in a Cisco ASA version 9. I'm going to show you how to create an object network. So under object network, we can create subnets. We can also create hosts. Subnets we can use for VPN tunnels or allowing traffic or denying traffic. And hosts we can use to create static NAT or port address translation. It can also be used for our creation of the hide NAT, which is this particular one right here. So first we're going to do is we're going to create an object that is tied to a host. So we want to start by typing object network, and then we want to give it a name, and it can be any name. Some people like to use the obj dash and then the internal IP address. If you want to do that way, other people like to actually give it something more descriptive, such as email server. So we'll go ahead and do it that way. Now we get the subcategory, and we're going to want to give this a host. So we have to type in host, and we want to say what the IP address of the host is. And hit enter. Alright, so now we have an object called email server, and it is bound to our email server internal IP address. Next thing to do is we want to bind the external IP address to this particular one. So we're going to use one of our IP addresses that our ISP has given us, and so we're going to go ahead and type in NAT inside outside static followed by the public IP address. Alright, so now we have this public address tied to this static address, and if we want any inbound traffic coming in for email, we need to have an access list to go with it. Now we've already done this earlier, so let's just go ahead and do a show run access list inbound. Alright, so here's our inbound access list. It's tying the email SMTP to 1042.110. So we have all the elements here. We have the public IP address mapped to the private IP address, and then we have the access list, which allows port 25 or SMTP traffic through. The last thing is to make sure the access group is done. So you have show run access-group, and it should be tied to this particular access list called inbound. So if you don't see it tied there, then you can go ahead and type access group inbound and interface outside. So there's all our key elements for mapping a public IP address to a private one and allowing the port traffic to get through after being bound to the outside interface.